So over the years on this channel, I've used loads of different methods to get macro photography images. And it got me thinking, what actually is the best method if you're a beginner and want to have a go at macro photography for getting started? Well, I think that this is the best setup. And here it is inside this little box is what I think is the best way to get started in macro photography if you're on a budget. So let's see how this links up with your other kit, and let's see how we get those macro photography images that I think are pretty spectacular. So what is this? Well, this is the Raynox DCR250, if I can get into it, and it's a super macro conversion lens. So let's have a look what it is. There it is, look, that's basically, it's a little lens, and when you get one of these it comes with a little adapter here. Now this has got, I think, something like a 42 or a 49mm, I think it might be a 49mm thread on here. So if your lens is 49mm, this will screw straight into the thread on your lens. However, most lenses aren't that. So what it comes with is this adapter here, and so you can screw this into your adapter. And then the adapter actually will fit most lenses up to about 67mm. And then you just clip that onto the front of your lens and away you go. So what's the kit I'm going to be using today? Well, because I'm trying to do it a little bit budget, what I've got here is my Nikon Z50. I'm not using the Z8 today. This is a typical APC sort of camera that you might use. You know, you could be a Sony or a Canon user, something similar. Now what I have got on here today is my Nikon 24-120, which is a pretty expensive zoom lens. Now that's because this is the only zoom lens that I actually own for my system. You could, if you've got a Nikon Z50 or a Sony, you could have just the basic kit lens that came with the camera. That'll work just as well. This is really just because all I've got is this one to fit onto this camera, so that's what I'm going to go with. And basically all you do is you get your camera, you put your lens on it. Now what I've got to do today, because this is a 77mm thread on the end of here, I've got what's called a step down ring. So all I'm going to do is slide that into there, and then this is taking this down to a 67, which will then enable that to fit into the end, like so. And that is it. I'm ready to go and do some macro photography. So here's why I think that this setup is probably the best setup if you want to have a go at macro photography, but you don't want to use a lot of money, which a dedicated macro lens is going to generally cost you. They're probably between £400 to £1,000. Yeah, £400 to £1,000 for a macro lens. So that's a lot of money to put out if it's a lens that after a couple of weeks you find you don't really enjoy macro photography. This enables you to get into it at a very reasonable cost, as I say, about £70 to £80. What are the main points in favour of this setup? Well, for me, cost effective for a start. As I said at the start, this is £70, and it's a little more expensive than some of the cheaper options to get into macro photography. However, because reversing lenses really depends on the lens that you're using, sometimes the results that you get aren't great with certain lenses, and you might have to try 2 or 3 before you find the lens that you're reversing that gives you the results that you want. And also they can just be a bit patchy. Things like extension tubes, again, a little bit less control with those, in the way that you can have to add and take extension tubes off to get different magnifications. Here, you know, with a zoom lens it's dead easy. Basically with this, the further out that you zoom, then the more magnification this gives you. So it's as easy as that with a zoom lens. And as I say, it's going to be probably a zoom lens that came with the camera. You can get these very, very reasonably priced, even if you haven't got one. It doesn't have to be one like this expensive option I've got here. You'll still get fantastic results using this lens. Now thirdly, for me, the performance of this Raynox is very, very good. I've got a macro lens as well that I use, and to be honest, this is giving really good results. I think I would be hard pushed to see the difference on most occasions. And what it means is, you know, you for the price of sort of a sixth of my macro lens, you know, you've got a system that you can take macro photography images with in a pretty small compact package. So I really love that you know, it's the results are so consistent. You know, once you get used to how you're using it, and as I say, as a beginner, what I would suggest is don't always push it out to the maximum, because that can be more difficult to control. It's often better to go for less magnification and more control, so that you're getting a higher hit rate of shots when you're doing your macro images. And then as your technique improves and you get better at it, you can start to zoom further out and get more magnification. Right, now probably the thing I like most about this Raynox is the fact that I imagine a situation as a beginner where I've picked this up as a beginner, which I wouldn't have. If I was starting out in macro photography, this is the way I would go. And have a go at macro photography, and maybe I decide after a couple of months I don't actually like it, I don't really use it very much. This goes on eBay, right? Yeah, and you could probably get about 2/3 of your money back, so not an awful big loss. However, what happens if you decide you absolutely love macro photography? Well, what generally will happen is you'll then go out and get yourself a dedicated macro lens and fork the 600 quid or 700 quid, whatever it is, for a macro lens. And then again, this will go on eBay, right? Well, not necessarily. The thing about this lens is that if you get yourself a dedicated macro lens and you're getting one-to-one output, so you're getting life-size images, if you put this on the end, you can actually get even more macro from your macro lens. So when you've got used to your macro lens and you're thinking, oh, I'd love more magnification, you can then reach for this out your bag and get more magnification. So it never actually loses its value. You can just keep it in your bag and away you go. You can get better than one-to-one reproduction of your subjects. So for me, I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. One of the other things I love about this Raynox is actually the size of it, because a lot of the time when you're going out to do some photography, macro photography might not be the first thing you're thinking of doing. So you might be going to do some landscapes or some wildlife or whatever, and it's great to have this in your bag when you might be short of space, where you know you can actually do some macro photography by just clipping this onto the end of one of your zoom lenses. Whereby other than that, you know, I'm carrying my big macro lens, and it might be that I've got no intention of going out that day and doing some macro photography, so I'll leave that at home. But I have got room to stick this in my bag just in case that situation comes along where I've got a really good opportunity of getting a nice macro image. So mobility wise, this is so small and compact, there's no reason not to take it everywhere with you when you're out doing your photography. Now, I hope this video has been useful to you. I've really enjoyed using this Raynox DCR250. It's a fantastic piece of kit. It's one that I've bought myself. I've not been paid to make this video. I really wanted to try it out because I've used most other methods of getting macro photography images, and this is one that I hadn't tried, and I'd seen some really good results taken with it, and I basically wanted to know what I was missing out on. And yeah, it's a fantastic piece of kit. It's one I'm going to keep in my kit bag, and what I want to do going forward is actually start using it as well as on the zoom lens that I've got on my dedicated macro lens, to see what results I can get from that as well. So really exciting going forward to try and use this with the kit that I've got. Now, if you've got any questions and you think there's stuff that I've missed, or you want to you've got any experience with this lens yourself, please leave me a comment in the questions below. I do answer all those questions and comments because it generally helps everybody on the channel. If there's something that I've missed out, if there's some downside to this, if there's more advantages to it than I've already come up with, then obviously please leave them below in the comments. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you've enjoyed the images that I've shown you throughout this video as well. Hopefully there'll be a lot more to come in the future, and I'll probably do a video with this when I'm using it with my macro lens as well, just to show you some of the results from that, because that's always useful to see how this goes into the future and how I've adapted it to the way I shoot. So hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you for another one soon. Bye for now.